Hey guys, welcome to Zach Cybertech. The world is fun with computers and technology. Today I'm going to show you the feature called Follow Me from the DJI Phantom 3, and I'm using the advanced model. I'm just going to show you how to do it from the DJI app, and I'm using my iPhone here, but really it's so easy. You press this icon here, it shows you all the intelligent navigation modes, and today we're going to use this Follow Me. So if you're just going to press on that right now, it's not going to show anything because we're indoors. I'm just showing you exactly where to press. But if you're outside, once you press that, it's just going to ask you to apply. You click OK, and then you're good to go. So the next video, I'm just going to show you straight away the demo that I've done when we drove our car from our house to my son's school, all the way back. And I'm going to give you my comments and observations. This is my first attempt to use this feature. So I already brought my Phantom 3 Advanced up in the sky from our house. This is about 35 meters, and I reckon that at this distance it's quite safe to let it stay that way as it tries to follow us, because as you can see, the posts, electric posts and the tallest trees are not really obstructing the Phantom. So you will see down below that green Jaguar, S-Type 3.0 Jaguar is what we're using to drive the car. I'm inside with my remote, so what it does is it tries to follow wherever the remote is. So we just set aside the remote inside the car, and it automatically follows us. It's done a pretty good job in being stable. I'm quite impressed, actually. Like I said, we're using the DJI Phantom 3 Advanced as opposed to the professional model. And really the only difference is the fact that the professional model can record up to 4K resolution, and the advanced model can only do that in 2.7K. But right now I'm even just using 1080p, so there wasn't really any reason for me to buy the more expensive professional model. The other observation I have is sometimes within the screen you will see the leg of the Phantom 3 at the lower left of the screen, and that's because it's a little bit windy during this day, so any movement of the quadcopter, sometimes the leg gets in the way from the video. Now, there's a bit of a scare during this time because there was a police checkpoint here looking for cars that are not registered. And by the time we saw the police officers, I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. So I thought we're going to get a ticket. And I thought they're going to ask us about the drone that we're flying way up. But apparently he didn't saw the drone. My wife actually told him, it's been following us. And the police officer, so what's following? And I said, well, I'm going to wear the seatbelt now, sir. So he let us go. So we were spared from being interrogated about this flying machine above us and what's it for, do we have a license or whatever kind of questions. And we don't need to do that. I don't want to go through that process. But it's not technically illegal. I just don't want to go through that process. And apparently they didn't really seem to notice that there was this tiny flying device that's following us from above. And I think 35 meters above the ground was safe enough that they didn't even recognize it. So up to this point, I've never touched the remote, so it has pretty much done a good job of following us. I didn't care what speed my wife was driving. It just tried to follow us, and the faster our car went, It's actually better because the camera is showing us a different broad view, which gives us a pretty nice view of the rest of the island. So you will see how beautiful Cayman Islands is. And we're now heading to the school of my son, Luke Anthony, who is the best boy in the whole world, the most handsome boy in the whole universe. And that's where we're going, to his school. So you will notice that the school is pretty much very near our house. It's not only 5 minutes and we're already here. And the Phantom 3 Advance has done a good job. Every now and then you see that the camera has lost us, but it tries to compensate. It does it with some sharp turns, but it's okay. I have no complaints. So far I'm still pretty much impressed. There was no disconnection with the remote control despite the distance, and it always tries to recover and follow us even with the video. And right now we're gonna try to stop the car, get out and wave and see if it will just hover and whether it is stable when it hovers. So we stopped here and we're gonna check whether there's any instability with the quadcopter. As you can see, it's almost like mounted on a fixed pole because it doesn't seem to be moving. And again, part of the reason for that is the gimbal, which is really effective in making sure that the video is stable. So that's my wife waving there. My son has just got out from the car. We look very tiny, so you won't see our faces. But this was just to test that the quadcopter is just going to hover there and no problem. It is quite windy up in there, but it's still working fine. At this stage, around 5 minutes into it, my battery is still around 80%. So really impressed, and we're now ready to go back home. We're going to try to use a different route and avoid police officers. Not that we're doing anything illegal, but we just want to make sure that, you know, we don't want to answer questions we're not prepared to answer. So now we're going to exit the school. And again, we're using our 3.0 S-Type Jaguar, which is one of the smoothest rides I've ever driven. It's fantastic, very quick. It accelerates to 100 miles per hour within 6-7 seconds. Really quick, really fast. I love this smooth ride. Another observation I'm going to tell you is that, again, the leg is showing up. It does that if the wind is blowing much stronger, because it tries to compensate, and it's wiggly, but you can notice that the video is still stable. The leg is moving erratically, and without the gimbal that would show in your video, but because of how effective the gimbal system is, it's a very smooth video recording. And again, the farther the car is from the Phantom 3, the more broad view you can see. It tries to compensate. There's a little bit of instability here. And at this stage, while you're doing this, while it's trying to follow you, you can continue to control the camera angle, the camera tilt. You can move it up, you can move it down. If you don't want it to focus on the car, you can move it up so you can see the island, but the trajectory is still following the car. But what we're trying to do here is just to make sure that it follows the car at all times. So the wind is a little bit stronger at this point in this area, because you'll see the leg of the drone keep showing up at the lower left. See, it shows up again. So what you can do there, if you want to use the footage here for any purposes, let's say you're doing this for wedding or whatever event, then you can crop this And that's the good thing. If you have a 4K resolution or 2.7K resolution, you can still crop it and you still have enough space to show in your video. This is 1080p, and I can still pretty much crop it. I can still have a decent 720p resolution, and it's still be very nice. So here the video's lost, so it still tries to compensate. It just makes sharp turns a little bit, but it is an absolutely nice first attempt, first try of this follow me mode. No problem with the video recording, no problem with following the car. The speed of the car here was between 40 miles per hour to 50 miles per hour, so it's kind of between. We didn't really try to limit or try to drive at a certain speed, just let it go natural with how my wife's driving, and it's done a good job of trying to follow it. So you'll see the beautiful scenery at the side. There's the sea, the beautiful islands is highlighted with this follow me mode as it tries to follow you. And now we're going back into the complex, and at this stage my battery is still about 50%, and I'm quite happy with it. So this is the complex where we live. We're now going back. It was a successful first attempt, and it showed you that the drone has successfully followed us from our house going to my son's school and going straight back without any problems. Very stable and quite nice. And by doing so, we have also showed some beautiful sceneries of the Cayman Islands, how beautiful it is, how lush green it is, very clean, very affluent neighborhood in South Sound. And now it's about trying to bring back the drone. That's my son coming out of the car. And at this stage, I need to press from the F mode, I'm going to bring it back to the P mode, which is essentially the manual mode, so that I can control it manually and bring it back down. It does have an automated landing feature, so when it reaches a certain height, a certain altitude, I can try to press that button and it will try to land on its own automatically, so I don't have to try to land it smoothly. Because sometimes when you're not familiar or you're not sure how to land, it could crash the quadcopter. So that's pretty much it, guys. I do recommend the DJI Phantom 3 advanced model, and it's a smooth ride and it works very well, and I hope you had fun, and see you later.